Hello everyone, welcome to another simple review. Today is going to be another Buildable figure set. Sorry for getting sick of these, but I just love this series so much, so I'm going to cover as many as I can. I do plan to get some more, which that's going to be in another video. But this is the biggest set in the line. This is the Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike, 75532. It has 452 pieces, and it retails for $55. A little expensive, yeah. It's because it comes with a bike, too. So that makes the price jump up. But I'm not going to take the Scout off of the bike for this video. I've already done that before. I do plan to do at least a couple other videos on this particular set, just because it's so good. So this is the biggest one in the line. This is also the only vehicle set in the Buildable figure series. They did of course, the General Grievous one is the biggest, like, standalone figure. And then I think Vader. And then this one is the biggest. This is one of the best sets they've made in, like, the past 7 years. It's just amazing. Originally I wasn't going to buy this. I'm so glad I did. It's huge. You can see this thing is massive. That's probably where your money goes. But we'll talk about the bike and the figure. I'll talk about the figure first. The Scout Trooper is it's a standard buildable figure, so you're not gonna find anything new really with this. I mean, it's a newish design, but really it's the same kind of building like the buildable figures of the past. So it's not really like a different building experience for him. However, it is a different look because it's supposed to be the biker scouts from Return of the Jedi, which was their first appearance. And it's just really awesome. He does have two unique parts. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see his chest plate is exclusive to the set. It's white and it has like a bunch of this printing showing the fabric and the different kind of the material of his armor is kind of like wrinkled. Couldn't think of that for a minute. But the most unique part of him and this set is the helmet, which of course they always kill it with these helmets. With all the buildable figures, even some of the human ones, they really do a great job with like all of these characters that have helmets and stuff. They just really knock it out of the park. I mean, every time with the helmet characters, it just looks perfect, just like the movie, and it's like almost like a replica kind of looking piece. And of course, it's on a ball joint, so everything that the buildable figure here has in terms of movement, he can move all the different directions. Of course, that's their shtick. The buildable figures are known for their posability, so you can move them any direction you want, and that's their big gimmick. And it's really awesome. Of course, the head is on the ball joint, so you can move it everywhere. You can move the arms, the legs, everything. Everything moves, so that's great. The figure is kind of like this classic Biker Scout color scheme with the white and the black. That's really all you get. I mean, aside from a few other colors, there's nothing, the color scheme is consistent, which is nice. And one of the best features is on the back of him, where he's got actually an upside down shoulder pauldron uses his backpack, which is just really clever. And there's a couple of ice cream scoop pieces in between those, so that gets attached to the back. And on the back is a old torso piece that's covering up his back, so that gives him coverage. He's covered from all angles, which is really nice, especially in a big set like this. You want that coverage. Pretty much all the buildable figures have coverage over their, all their joints and stuff, covering up the bones and stuff. It's pretty good. He does have one accessory, which is a tiny little blaster. If I move it all the way over here, you can see that there is a gun on his ankle, and that is accurate to Return of the Jedi again, where it's got the baby tiny blaster, which of course they're just scouts, so they'll just have these little pistols, and it attaches to his ankle, or you can give it to his hand, whichever hand you like, but that's really his only accessory, and that's fine, because he's going to be riding the bike 90% of the time anyway. So I love the buildable figure of the Scout Trooper. It looks so good. Like, it just looks so fantastic. Again, they just killed it with the design, the helmet, the printing. It all just works. And I just love all the different pieces that they made, like the different pouches on his hips. He's got some more on his chest, and it just looks so good. And there's a lot of great pieces like these pentagon kind of parts, which you get 4 of those, which is nice. So it's just a great figure overall. It's very similar to the other ones, of course, because it's from the same line, but I think it's different enough to stand out. The bike. The bike is what you're paying for. This thing is massive. It's gonna be kind of hard to show you because it's so big, but the first, I guess, feature is that you can put the Scout on the bike, which I've already done here. And essentially, he goes on here. He's kind of clipped in with 4 pins, so 2 on his feet. So each of these pedals have a pin, and you clip them in, and he's got 2 pins on the handlebars. So he's connected in 4 different ways. So that's cool. So he's really secure. So he's not going to go flying off when you're, driving this around. Speaking of driving this around, you can, in fact, use this stand, which makes it rest. It's almost like the bike is hovering because, of course, it is. And essentially, the stand acts as a handle. So you can take your hand and you can put it under the bike, and now you can zoom it around. It's gonna be kind of hard to show you because it's so big. I'm sorry, but you can zoom it around, turn, and zoom and shoot. Speaking of shooting, you can in fact shoot the spring-loaded shooter inside of this gun. This is the gun that's on the actual bike, and there's a trigger right here. And essentially, what you want to do is fire that, and now it's gone. But there actually is an extra one on the bottom. So if I turn this over, there is actually a spare. So if you want to put that in there you go. And the gun looks so great, and it works so well. There are stickers on this. There are about 7 of them. We've got 2 on the back. That's like the speed flap stickers. They look great. Speaking of the speed flaps, these can move up and down. And there's also engine thrust in there. There are some more stickers. There's one here. There's also one here. It's in the same design. And there's also, I'll show you that in a minute. We've got 2 stickers on the front forks. One here. And one here. And the best sticker, in my opinion, is the one in the middle. Right here, this is the control pad. So this is what controls the entire bike. And you can put the, Scout's hand down there to make it look like he's controlling it. So that's my favorite part of the whole set, is this one sticker that just looks so great. I love the pieces that they use, like this big curved piece on the front, and these ship masts as like the forks. And it just looks so wonderful. Even this very detail, the small tiny details on the front here. And there's like this engine intake. There's the gun, of course. All the brown looks excellent. There's some engine details on the bottom. You can kind of see it. There's some tubing that goes along. And there's more tubes on the sides. I think the tubes is probably my favorite other part. It just looks so great. I love the armoring on the back. The speed flaps are really nice. And the fact that you can actually make them move, which is great. And there's this folded tarp on the back. And there's a seat. And funny enough, the seat piece is actually the speed flap piece, but it's just flipped around with no sticker, which is quite clever. Let's see. Other than that, I think that's really it. There's not much that this thing will, I guess, do. It's more of a display piece. It's definitely more of a display kind of set. But you can't play with it because you can just grab it and just zoom around, wherever, which is cool. I just wish that there was, like, more vehicles in the Buildable Figures line. It's kind of a shame that this was the only one. Hey, at least they got one out to us, so that's nice. So, the final verdict, it's just magnificent. It feels like a bigger set. Like, it feels much more expensive. Like, it feels like a big expensive set, which it kind of is. $55 isn't that expensive, but for a buildable figure set, it kind of is. But I mean, you're getting the bike. You're getting a bigger value here. Um, it's similar to the General Grievous, which I want to get a new version of him soon. That is also massive. So these little figures, they're not this tiny baby figure. They're these massive action figures that you build. So I think for the majority of the buildable figures, they're not too pricey. But this one, I think the price is right for this one because it's huge. Like, it's this massive speeder thing with the guy on it. So I definitely think it's worth the money. It's definitely worth the value is there. It's worth the money. I actually paid full price because I was just a big fan of this set and of the character of the biker scouts. So I had to have this. Um, would I recommend this? Absolutely. If you're a fan of the buildable figures, and if you're a fan of biker scouts or speeder bikes or the both, or if you want like this great display piece, this is one of the ones you don't want to miss out on. Unfortunately, it is retired now, so the only way you're going to be able to get it is if you go on Bricklink or eBay or Craigslist or somewhere that's not Lego, because this is retired. So it came out quite a while ago, but if you can somehow get your hands on it for a cheap price, absolutely do it. If you're a big fan of the Scout Troopers and the Speeders, then this is probably a must-have. It's a must-have for me. That's why I bought it. But yeah, like I said, this is the biggest buildable figure set aside from Grievous. He's the biggest standalone figure, but this is the biggest set in the line overall. So if you want a showstopper display piece, this is the way to go. Um, even if you don't like the buildable figures, I think this is just one to get regardless. It's just a fun experience building it. And the speeder is really hard to build. Like, it's really difficult. The buildable figure itself is not, but that's to be expected. That's pretty much gonna wrap this up. I give this set a 10 out of 10. Of course, it's phenomenal. It's exceptional. Um, I would totally recommend this if you can somehow get it. Absolutely buy it. It's worth it. Trust me, it's huge. Um, but yeah, that's really all I have to say for this one. I hope you like this video. More buildable figure reviews are coming, of course, as I get my hands on the new ones as well. So that's gonna be fun. Well, I hope you like this. Let me know what you think about this set in the comments below. Good or bad thoughts. If you have any, leave them below. And I will see you in the next review, which will be soon. And I thank you very much for watching. Hope you like this and more to come. Stay tuned, and I will see you then. Take care. Have an amazing day.